mean, wasn't that long ago that the bank...
Now. You guys are singing from the same hymn book.
Actually, no. We passed our budget in 2009, and we gave personal tax cuts. We did the Ontario Child Benefit. They voted against that. They said they were against, well, of course, they were against the HST, then they said they wouldn't get rid of it, and then they said they'd take it off this, that, or the other thing. So they're going to have to start showing some consistency in thought and some logic in their policy. And we'll work with whatever opposition party, but I can tell the NDP we will not raise taxes.
So Mr. Drummond is apparently saying that for you to meet the deficit targets, keeping health and education in line, modest growth, you're going to have to cut 2% per year everywhere else. That's what we understand Mr. Drummond is saying. Is that, Mr. Hudak likes that. Do you
I wouldn't be that specific with the number, but it is in that order of magnitude. And it's over an extended period of time. And this is, I was talking about the federal government. This is where the arithmetic becomes real. And why we have to look at a longer period of time in terms of restraint so that we can ensure the sustainability. And there will be a range of responses to get there. We began to lay that out in the last budget. We laid out based on it's interesting, like in his spring budget, Mr. Flaherty projected growth of 2.9%. I think I had it at 2.4%. That was part of the prudence we built in that they hadn't. And we're still on track for this year and for the time period to balance our budget. But it will require real reform in how we deliver public services, setting clear priorities, encouraging job growth and the growth of business. Virtually every economist that has looked at our tax plan for jobs and growth, whether from the left side or the right side of the spectrum, agree that it is the right package. And the people of Ontario, I think, implicitly supported that package, even though the choices were difficult. And so, the opposition parties are going to have to come to the table. It won't be like, well, we're against the HST, then saying they'll keep it. And I mean, we've got to lay out a 6-year plan, essentially, to continue on track for balance.
Minister, what you're saying is that the Liberals won the election, but the progressive conservative platform, or at least the financial parts of it, will be what the course that the government takes. If we're going to have, we're not going to cut health care and education, but we're going to cut 2% across the board, which is what Drummond is essentially saying.
With respect, the Conservatives adopted our numbers in their platform. With respect.
Well, not the 2% cut.
But they didn't have that. Their numbers were unrealistic there. They took our numbers.
Well, what's the difference between if Drummond is saying the same thing and you guys said that there was a $14 billion hole?
We laid out very clear numbers that are consistent with Drummond in terms of what we had to achieve. They're right there in the budget. Now growth forecasts have changed, so there will be adjustments, but it's on that order of magnitude. It's there in the budget.
Are we looking
it's
at
clear. I'm sorry, Keith.
Are we looking at, does that 2% would that amount to about $5.5 billion, as Mr. Hudak says?
His numbers inevitably are not particularly accurate, so I wouldn't go to the bank on
Why? Because they're his numbers?
Yeah.
They sound like your numbers.
Well, they did adopt some of our numbers, but then we showed you the big gap they had. And, he's also proposing, tax cuts that cost in the hundreds of millions of dollars over the same period of time. It's not on.
Well, okay. Why is there such a big gap?